The Red Sox are getting healthier, and that can only be a good thing. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. If you checked out yesterday's video, we mentioned that the Red Sox are starting to get healthier. Guys are starting to come back, and over the next week or so, the Red Sox are going to get some real big, impactful reinforcements, and those reinforcements start today because the Red Sox are reactivating one of their most high-impact relief arms. So we're going to break all of that down in today's video, starting with the actual move itself, because last night, after an incredible start where he went 6 innings, allowing just two runs, only one of them earned on just 3 hits with 6 strikeouts and no walks, Hunter Dobbins was optioned back down to AAA baseball, which, by the way, I was on the Hunter Dobbins hype train coming into the season. I'm fully on board now. I might be the conductor of this bad boy. I'm all over how good Hunter Dobbins has looked in a Red Sox uniform, especially now that I figured out how to say his last name. But either way, I'm really excited about who Hunter Dobbins could be. That start yesterday looked like legitimate big league stuff from him. I know it was against the Chicago White Sox, who is right now the statistical worst team in Major League Baseball by literally every offensive metric, but still, right? You had moments where you already faced the Chicago White Sox, and they kind of trounced your pitching. For him to go out there in his second big league start and put up numbers like that, that's really, really impressive. What I'm most excited about with this Hunter Dobbins stuff is that the Red Sox depth right now looks absolutely incredible, right? You're getting healthier in the rotation. Bayo's going to be back on Tuesday. Giolito's going to be back probably sometime next week. So you're going to have a full rotation again. And on top of that, you're also going to have Hunter Dobbins and Richard Fitts most likely just simply waiting in the wings here for their next opportunity. That's a really good spot for the Red Sox to be in, and having guys that can go out here and not only just bridge gaps between starts, but give you legitimate chances to win games in those bridge games is really, really important. On top of that, the Red Sox future in this pitching rotation, man, it looks really, really good. Dobbins, Fitts, these guys look like legitimate big impact arms throughout 26, 27, even in 2025. Either way, I'm really excited about it. Has nothing to do with the actual move itself, but the reason he was optioned down to AAA baseball after last night's game was to reactivate Red Sox, I guess you could say closer, right? He was originally signed to be a closer, Liam Hendriks, and this is a really legitimate impact to this Red Sox bullpen. If you remember, Liam Hendriks was a bit of a surprise ending up on the IL opening day. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Liam Hendriks to start the year on the 15-day IL, but he did end up there with a compressed nerve that was leading to elbow inflammation. It's a big reason why he had such a miserable spring training. I mean, the dude had an almost 10 ERA in the spring with a 2.21 whip. That's at least 2 batters on every base for every inning he pitched. Not exactly fantastic, right? A lot of people were really worried about Liam Hendriks. However, he got a cortisone shot because of the elbow inflammation and has felt much, much better, which is absolutely fantastic. And in his rehab assignments, he's looked pretty good. It was 3 outings. He only allowed 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. That's a pretty good rehab stint for a pretty important piece of the Red Sox bullpen. The average velocity looked pretty good too. It's still not up to where you need it to be really, but it's still in that 94 mile an hour range. So he's still hitting mid 90s. Ideally, once he gets back to Major League Baseball, the range you would like to see him in is that 97 mile an hour range. And the reason you want to see him in that 97 mile an hour range is because when he's sitting in there, he's one of the most elite closers in baseball, right? You go back to his 2 best seasons, which was 2020 and 2021. Even though 2020 was a really shortened season, he was in that high velo range, and he was one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. An all-star, a top 10 Cy Young candidate, right? That's where you see peak Liam Hendriks come into place, when that fastball is really his go-to pitch. When that fastball is missing bats, he's in a really good spot, and 94 is a bit more hittable than 97. However, you were still seeing that swing and miss in minor league baseball, and I get it. Corbin, you're playing against minor league players. They are vastly different than major league hitters, and you're absolutely right, but a month ago, Liam Hendriks couldn't get minor league hitters out, right? In spring training, you're facing mostly minor league hitters, especially when you're coming out of the bullpen in those 7th, 8th innings of spring training games. He couldn't get those guys out. Obviously, still a good sign that he's starting to get those guys out, right? He's starting to get the swing and miss. He's starting to dominate the players that he's supposed to dominate. So I'm not incredibly worried about the velocity. Averaging around 94 means there were times where he was above 94, right? As well as times where he was below 94. But as long as that swing and miss is there, that's a really important aspect of really any closer's game, but Liam Hendriks' game as well. So some really good stuff from Liam Hendriks, at least in his rehab assignment. Now, one thing I do want to bring up that kind of has nothing to do with how he's going to perform at the major league level, but just kind of a cool story. Liam Hendriks, when he was on his rehab assignment, made his way up to Portland to get some innings in. And while he was there, he rented a food truck for not only his players in his clubhouse, but the opposing players, the Hartford Yard Goats, and the food truck was for the workers of the stadium as well. It just goes to show you how good of a guy Liam Hendriks is. It's the exact type of player you want on your major league team, the exact type of guy you want in this clubhouse. It's just really cool to see. Has absolutely nothing to do with this. Just figured I'd throw that in here because honestly, I didn't know where else to place it in a video and I wanted to talk about it. Anyways, the question now becomes, what role does Liam Hendriks fill now that he's healthy in the Red Sox bullpen? And the original thought, like I said, was that he was going to be a closer. Even coming into this season, having picked up Aroldis Chapman this offseason, the Red Sox still kind of favored Liam Hendriks in that closer role. So does that mean now that he's come back, he's just going to pick up that mantle once again? I don't know so much that that's really the case. I actually think Liam Hendriks will be in a bit of a different role, and I think it's for a couple of different reasons. One, Aroldis Chapman, despite the fact that I still don't love rooting for him all that much, has been a really solid closer for the Red Sox to start this season. He has a 1.23 ERA, a 1.39 FIP, and a 14.7 strikeouts per nine. Even his walks are a little bit lower than what has been over the last couple of years. I think right now the Red Sox are pretty comfortable with Chapman closing out games in series. And because of that, they're not going to mess around with it too much, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it type situation here. You don't want to mix up the bullpen just simply to mix up the bullpen and put it in a worse spot statistically, just simply to get the guy that you originally signed as a closer to be your closer, right? If someone else is doing well in that role, I think the Red Sox are going to hold them to that role until they're no longer doing it. And two, Liam Hendriks hasn't been a high leverage guy in Major League Baseball since 2022. That is a 3-year absence at this point. I think the goal right now is to get him back to a level where he can just simply pitch in Major League Baseball before they throw him into, we're going to have you pitch in the highest leverage situation humanly possible in Major League Baseball, right? I think the Red Sox aren't going to take a leap here. They're going to take baby steps, especially with the fact that he started the year on the IL. It doesn't make a ton of sense to be like, hey man, you haven't pitched since 2022 realistically, right? You got a couple innings in 23, but you haven't really pitched since 2022. That's cool. You're now the face of the Red Sox bullpen, right? They're probably not going to do that. In fact, I actually think the role that Liam Hendriks is going to come back in is sort of that mid-leverage inning type guy. What I mean by that is sort of the Greg Weissert role right now. And Greg Weissert, I think, has been doing a fantastic job at it and will continue to stay in that role. But I think Liam Hendriks is also going to join him for at least a little bit before they can get him back into high leverage innings. The type of situations I'm talking about, runner on first, Sox up by 3. It's the 6th inning with 1 out. Starters coming out. You got to get to the 7th inning so you can get to the more established high leverage guys. We need some big outs here. Go and get Liam Hendriks, right? Those type of situations where Greg Weissert did come in this Tampa Bay series. That's probably where we're going to see Liam Hendriks for the first couple of weeks that he's here in Boston. Honestly, I think for the first couple appearances here, we're going to see a lot of lower leverage situations. Maybe not so much 5th inning and the guys need to get to a bridge to the 6th, 7th inning, but more of a, okay, it's the 7th inning. We're up by 4. It's a clean inning. The bottom of the order's up. Let's bring in Liam Hendriks. Let's see what he can do and sort of build himself back up to that high leverage role. But I do eventually think he's going to join the high leverage situation team here for the Boston Red Sox in the back end of that bullpen. And when that does happen, I think the Red Sox are going to be in a really good place. Because just because Liam Hendriks doesn't have a ton of experience lately doesn't mean he's not going to be a big impact player for the Sox. The Red Sox this season are pretty middle of the road when it comes to their bullpen statistics. Their 3.93 ERA as a team is currently good for 18th best in Major League Baseball, slightly below league average, but still kind of in that middle of the pack range. I think Liam Hendriks just simply raises that ceiling. It may not be an immediate impact, but over time, he could end up being a really big piece of the 2025 Red Sox. If nothing else, once he gets fully right, think about how good that back end of the bullpen looks, right? Your back end could eventually be Garrett Whitlock, who is on absolute fire right now, Justin Slayton, who's looked unhittable lately, and Aroldis Chapman, who I was just talking about, who looks really great in that closing position, plus Liam Hendriks. That has the potential to be one of the best high-leverage teams in Major League Baseball, doesn't it? You've got two legitimately experienced high-leverage arms who have been at the top of the game in Major League Baseball for years before. You've got two younger players, although I don't know if you count Whitlock as still a younger player. Either way, younger-ish players who are coming out and just absolutely dominating out of the bullpen. There's a legitimate potential here that at some point this season, Liam Hendriks rejoining the high-leverage squad here for the Red Sox makes them one of the most potent in Major League Baseball. Imagine you're at the point here where you've got 2 or 3 legitimate closing options here to finish out games. Okay, you've got Chapman, who's been fantastic, but hey, you got a whole bunch of righties who mash lefties. Well, then let's go to Justin Slayton, who's looked unhittable, or Liam Hendriks, who was a top 10 Cy Young finisher as a closer before, right? That has a real potential to be really good. So yes, it's going to take a little bit to get there, but I think the long-term side effects of getting Liam Hendriks in this bullpen is just simply raising the ceiling of what this bullpen could be. And I'm really excited for it. Honestly, I'm really excited for a couple of different reasons. One, I think just having Liam Hendriks back in this bullpen is going to be a major help on the field and off the field as well, right? You talk about the personality, you talk about the experience. I think that's really going to just simply add another, wisdom-esque role here for these younger guys like Weiser, Kelly, Slayton is going to be really important to their progression as well. And even in the clubhouse, right? Just having a guy in there who's sort of a vocal leader-ish type player, who's just an experienced veteran name, could help this Red Sox clubhouse as well. But even outside of that, even outside of just Liam Hendriks himself, this is an indication that reinforcements are coming to the Red Sox, that they are getting healthier again. We mentioned it. Bayo, less than a week away, right? A couple of days away at this point. Giolito, probably about a week away. Even Connor Wong is progressing really nicely in his rehab. So you're getting these reinforcements back quickly, which is a big difference than what you had last season, where it felt like guys went on the IL and were just stuck there for a very long period of time, where you continued to hear about them maybe progressing, but they never actually got back on time. This year feels a little bit different, knock on wood. It stays a little bit different, right? But it feels really good to have good news coming out of the injury front for the Boston Red Sox. So whole lot of reasons to be excited about Liam Hendriks coming back. Hopefully you guys are excited about it too, but I want your opinions, so let me know in the comment section down below. What are you guys thinking about all this? What do you think about Liam Hendriks coming back? What type of role do you see him in? And what kind of impact do you think he has on the Boston Red Sox? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.